I lost $40,000 flipping my first property. If you don't want to lose that kind of money and you want to know all the mistakes not to do, I'm going to give you a masterclass in the next couple minutes of how you can avoid losing all this money in real estate, because I made all the mistakes and you can learn from my mistakes so you don't have to pay like I had to pay $40,000 out of pocket just to get rid of the property. So stay tuned. Hey guys, my name is Jleman. I'm a licensed realtor and investor here in Champaign, Illinois, and we help investors from across the country and locally find great investment properties and homeowners to find the home of their dreams. I'm going to talk to you about a time where I first started getting into real estate investing and I was running out of cash. Have you ever felt that feeling where, I don't have much more cash to invest in real estate? What should I do? I got an idea. I'm going to flip a property. And I decided to find a property on the MLS. Didn't use a realtor, didn't talk to anybody about it, thought I knew everything that I was doing, and I just decided to buy this property, and there was a couple errors I made from the jump. Number one, I did pick a good market, but I bought a house that was just funky. The reason it was sitting on the market was because it was funky. It had a weird layout, it had a weird bedroom and bathroom count. And quite frankly, I thought the house was a lot bigger than it actually was. So I should have done some due diligence when I walked through and checked out these different rooms and realized that, hey, screened-in porches and basements, they don't count for the regular square footage of a home. Now, I didn't know that at the time, but I was calculating my numbers off of a different size, off of bedroom and bathroom counts, and I took the highest ARV, that's after repair value, that I could find and said, hey, I'm gonna buy this house for $133, and when I'm done putting $40,000 into it, I'm gonna sell it for $240,000. I thought I had gotten all of this figured out. I knew the formulas, right? The formula of, hey, I wanna buy a property, I wanna put money into it, and whatever money I should put into it, that should be 70% of the ARV. Meaning if you buy a house for 50 and you put 20 into it, you should be able to sell it for $100,000. That's called the 70% rule when flipping a property. So I thought I had it all figured out. Well, I started demoing the property. I hired a contractor who I didn't get much references on. I just called one or two people and I knew him because he had done some work for me before. And what I found out is that the job that was quoted to me and the pace at which it was getting done was not getting done in the proper time. And so I kept saying, hey, what's going on here? Why isn't this getting done? And there was excuse after excuse. I even gave him my own business debit card to go buy different products and materials and tools for this property. Why am I giving a handyman money for tools? I have no idea. Why was I giving him a credit card that he could use for whatever he wanted? That was stupid. Never ever do what I just did. That was the first mistake. Number two, I started seeing all kinds of charges ring up on that, sometimes for beer or groceries or different things. So I had to cancel that card. I should have fired him right there. He told me it was an honest mistake. I'm a nice guy. I said, sure, it's an honest mistake. I'm gonna forgive you. Well, I found out over and over and over again, he continued to lie to me and then did drugs in the property. He actually stole from the neighbors. And then he told me that he paid the subcontractors that he hired, but he never actually paid them. And so the subcontractors came to me and said, I never was paid by your general contractor. We're gonna put a lien on the house. Now, when there's a lien on the house, like a mechanics lien, you can't refinance the house and you cannot actually sell the house without paying those liens off. And I was like, here I was. I paid a general contractor this money. I gave him a credit card and he doesn't pay the subcontractors. He doesn't get the work done. And the work's not done well, the stuff that he's done, I actually tried to do, so I hired the wrong contractor. Let's just put it that way. That was the mistake that I made. I overvalued the property, I hired the wrong contractor, and number three, I tried to do too much. I tried to transform that porch into a living area, meaning that it's a finished living space and create a master bedroom in the house. Now this was a big mistake. Not only did it take a lot of money to do that, but it didn't add a ton of more value taking that house from a 3 to 4 bedroom house. It was a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house to begin with, and it ended up being a 4 bedroom, 2 bath house. But when I finished it, I realized the contractor actually never ran heat to that new bedroom. In fact, because it was a screened-in porch, it didn't have house heat. He had just put a space heater in there. Now, me not knowing anything about construction, didn't know. When I went to go sell the house, I realized we've actually got to get heat in there. And so I had to pay an HVAC guy extra money to run heat in there. The carpet was laid poorly, so I had to have a carpet guy come in and fix that work. I finally fired that contractor, put it on the market, and the feedback I got was, this is a poorly done flip. Wow, I've never seen a flip this bad. People saw all the mistakes, stuff wasn't finished. I was just so desperate to get rid of the house at that point because I was losing money. And the worst part is to buy this property, I had borrowed the down payment from a friend, borrowed the entire purchase price rather from a friend. And I told him I would pay him back in a certain time, and I was unable to pay him back, so I had to pay more interest. Now I did call him back and say, hey, don't have your money right now, but I'm gonna make it right. He graciously gave me 6 more months. I paid interest on that. And finally, using some creative strategies like a seller carryback and a credit, I was able to dump that property and be done with it. And I lost $40,000 on it. I got the liens removed. I fired the contractor. And I was just happy to be done. I didn't think about crying, I actually did cry. Now, that might have been a convoluted story, but between buying the property too high and evaluating it wrong, getting the wrong contractor and trying to do too much, I basically did everything wrong that you can do in an investment property, a flip property, and I said, never again. I've got to find a property manager I can trust, a general contractor for my projects I can trust, because I'm not gifted in those things. And now, since I learned those lessons 6-7 years ago, every flip I've done since has been profitable because I learned those hard mistakes of always buying below the median income and predicting that your after repair value won't be as high as you think it will. Vetting all contractors and having a property manager and a general contractor that you trust, and not just giving them a free debit card to go and buy different things with you not even knowing what they're buying. And number 3, trying to do the minimum that's going to give you your max cash on cash return and increase your property the value the most for putting the least amount in. That doesn't mean you do poor work. It just means that you don't overbuild the house for the market that it's in. If you'll follow these 3 things and not do those things that I just did, you'll have success in flipping properties. But if you want to cry like I did almost every day thinking, oh my gosh, what's happening to this property? I'm never going to get out of it. I'm never going to get $40,000 back. Then make the mistakes that I made, but learn from me so you can earn a living in real estate. Hey, if you got value from this, can you comment below and tell me your biggest real estate mistake or lesson that you made? If we can all comment down below, what that does is we can learn from each other's failures and make sure it doesn't happen again. Remember, you don't have to be good to get started, but you got to get started to get good. So let's get started in Central Illinois with me, helping you build wealth through real estate.